Yo.
So I just realized I've been talking the entire time and I had my mic muted.
I thought that might be the case.
I was like, interesting. Let me start over. Okay. What's going on, gentlemen? This is Sir Yeetus. Okay. And I'm here to drop some gem on you guys. We're here to drop some gems. Okay. And this is episode 99 of Yeetus' Thoughts. And this is going to be a great topic because we're going to explain to you the clown world, the Twilight Zone that we're living in society, and how ridiculous it's getting because it's getting very bad out there. And the song choice that I made, if you guys saw the description, it was inspired from John Talks. If you watch his YouTube channel, it's a meme slash political channel. If you guys get what I'm talking about. The music, I believe, perfectly describes the state of society today. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
Yeah, well, first of all, agree. John Talks has some bloody good stuff. But yeah, no, it does feel, well, even like the background image, like we are going in circles around the same bloody stuff all day. And it's like anyone with a decent brain cell, a pair of eyes and ears, they can see this stuff. It's like it's like a circus or like a bunch of, it's like a magician is on stage and they're doing really bad magic, like to the point where you see the wires, they're slipping up, like you can tell how every trick is happening. And you can look around and you can see it. Maybe 10% of the audience is also has their eyes and they're going, okay, when's this over so we can leave? But then there's the other half, well, the other 90% that is still going along with it. It's like the illusion hasn't been broken despite the absolutely abysmal performance.
I definitely agree. We're going to touch on that very soon, actually. But as you see the art right now, right? How many of you guys put a 1 in the chat if you watch Rishi's live stream? I repeat, put a 1 in the chat if you watch Rishi's live stream. Because this is the art that he created. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. And he was able to color it in for me. Island Hermit leg day. Oh no. Oh. Thank you for the $2 super chat though, man. I definitely appreciate it. What were you gonna say, Gray?
Yeah, no, it's funny. I'm pretty sure that Hermit dreads legs just as much as I dread arms.
It's the legs. Oh man, I can't. I'm literally almost always walking out like a baby deer. I can't. I'm crawling to the car, and I know that the next day I probably won't even get out of bed. Like it's leg day is no joke, but at the same time, I highly suggest that you guys work on legs. The legs is one of the biggest or the biggest muscles you pretty much have.
Well, thighs in particular, and then it'd be a question of like if calves are the number 2 or if there's a different muscle that would qualify.
The gluteus maximus. But yeah, the music that I chose is from John Talks and all that stuff. Great song. I freaking love it. And on top of that, when it comes to the art, Rishi did a good job. I just had to get a cutout, and replace the words of "got milk" and I think "let me finish" because I'm pretty sure he was trying to rib on me, right? Yeah, I had to replace it with "re" because if you look at the photo right now, if you see the photo right now, that's the state of society at this point. You see the how do I say, hypnotized, the spiraling thing, and you just see my avatar just going fucking nuts. That's the state of the West.
Now, actually, funny hypnosis as a metaphor for this, because one of the big things that's always gone on with hypnotism is that you can't hypnotize someone who doesn't want to be hypnotized.
Yeah, that is true. They will have to, how do I say, let themselves give in.
Precisely. Like, that's the thing. And even when you're under the state of hypnosis, unlike a bunch of hypnosis in movies or comics or whatever, you're not supposed to be able to do things that you wouldn't do anyway. So like you couldn't convince someone. I'm trying to think of how to put this. You can't make a sleeper agent from someone who is actually loyal.
I definitely see what you're saying, and I have to address this. Yes, I constantly had to ask Gray if he was good or not. Okay. Just to make sure that we're able to go to some fucking screaming match and all that shit. Because the entire stream will just collapse at that point. All right. We need to make sure that we're able to keep our temperament together. So the fact that I was getting crazy and he was getting crazy, we just have to make sure that it was from a logical standpoint, not emotional.
Yeah.
But Sir Yeetus 100 stream special, yes. I plan on doing a 100 special tomorrow, Monday. And it's going to be a pretty long stream. Probably around 6 hours.
Oh, geez. Well, might want to be tomorrow then, because I'm pretty sure I'm working Monday.
Oh, that's fine. Like, hell, like we can talk about some random stuff, see if we can play any games, all that crazy shit. See if I can invite a special guest. Because 100 streams is a huge feat.
Yeah. Like, you've been grinding these things hard. So.
But after the 100th stream, I'm doing streams once or 2 times a week, depending on how I'm feeling. But I'm not doing it every day after the 100.
Yeah,
it took me.
You say that, but you've promised to take breaks before, so
I did, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to let my subs down, and it's been pretty good so far. But I have been letting them down when it comes to the shorts. You did give me the thumbnail for the shorts, so after today they will have a couple shorts along with the 100 special. But after the 100 special stream, I'm focusing on just like the longer videos and the shorts. That'll be my main focus, because I think that between the 100 streams that I did, I got out majority of what I wanted to say. Would you agree, Gray? Because I think that we cover all aspects of male issues in society, or most of them.
More or less. We could tackle them in somewhat different ways. Maybe there's some of the more niche topics to go into. But yeah, we've covered basically everything.
Yes, and I don't want to be that channel where I'm consistently saying the same thing over and over and over just so I can get you guys as shekels. Okay, if you look through my playlists of my live streams, the majority of them are pretty different. But after the 100th, I think I would be a lot better to describe situations, shorts, pretty much, and still keep it fresh. I'm not as funny as Ribby, but like you guys said before, that's Ribby's lane. I can be myself with my own shorts as well. So I'm definitely hyped about that. I already saved like 10 videos. I'm getting ready. But when it comes to society going to shit, right? You heard about the Kim Kardashian and Kanye West situation?
Well, no, not really in my news feeds.
Okay, so you know that they're separated, right?
Okay, again, like I really don't know anything.
You don't know? Jesus Christ! It's Kanye. It's Kim Kardashian. That's playing.
Dude, the most interesting thing that's happened in the past week is the release of Unreal Engine 5. Okay, that's my news feed.
All right, that I definitely seen that. No, I think you're the one that showed me. I'm pretty sure you're the one that did show me or talked about it, unless I'm the one that like stumbled upon. But I know about the Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, but like that's the most new stuff. Aside from that, it's basically whatever Salty or Memology are talking about.
Okay, when it comes to the situation between Kim and Kanye, and you know who both of these people are, right?
Vaguely, yes.
You at least know who Kanye West is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, like, don't give me a heart attack.
He does his Kanye best, gets his Kanye rest.
Okay.
So he can tackle the day with Kanye zest.
And yes, Free Ross, I'm definitely a Kanye fan when it comes to his music. His personal life, he should have kept as private as possible, but of course, right? You know, you got to create some drama to get that revenue. But they are currently both separated. I don't think the divorce is finalized, but at the same time, the judge that they were going to recognize Kim Kardashian as single, even though they're still married, which is fucking weird to me. But you know the comedian Pete Davidson?
No. The name rings a bell, but you'd have to show me his face.
Ariana Grande went out that guy and a couple other female superstars. Let me show you right quick. Oh, unless you can look it up on Google, his picture will pop up.
Yeah, Pete Davidson, you said?
Yeah.
Wow. He not the face of head and mind, I'll admit
it. But he's the one that's currently going out with Kim K, most likely banging her, right? Because what choice does a 41-year-old woman even have? It doesn't matter what her money is. And that's going to be another topic after this one.
Scott, and keep in mind, if the ages were reversed and it was a 41-year-old man going after a woman that age, there'd be some questionable terms thrown around.
Oh man, you only date so girl, you a creeper, you a credit robber. I'm like, okay, so is she old enough to do taxes and go to war? So why doesn't she? Well, so why do you believe that she's not old enough to consent to who she has interactions with or not?
Well, we're well aware of why. It's just pointing out the hypocrisy.
I know. I just had to put it out there. Any female listener that's listening, think about that. But he's been trolling Kanye for a while, and Kanye West, he's been going through a lot of mental health issues. Pretty sure one of them is bipolar. But here's a scandal that's happening, right? Pete Davidson made some fucking horrible jokes about kids in the past. You would have to look that up. I can't describe it here. But recently, Kanye West's oldest daughter was driving with Pete Davidson in a cart, I think it was, and the daughter was sitting on Pete's lap. So you guys, you know where I'm coming from?
Oh, that joke. I see. Yeah.
I can't explain it, but
But
recently there were Kanye's oldest daughter was on Pete Davidson's lap. And Kanye knew long before about the jokes that Pete Davidson was saying. He said, I don't want that dude near my motherfucking kids.
Yeah. Basically, Pete Davidson made a joke that
don't explain.
No, it's a it's a Holly weird joke.
Okay. Yeah, it's the joke was very bad, and I probably would have slit that dude's throat. Yeah, that joke was bad.
Yeah, I
don't know how he's still walking around, huh?
I think we can use Holly weird as a code word for that.
Yeah. Holly weird jokes, and the majority of the chat knows what we're talking about, but the fact that there was TMZ footage, in which you could look up TMZ footage of Kanye's oldest daughter on the lap of Pete Davidson while they were driving a cart. And Kanye West already made it clear to Kim, I don't want him near my kids. And she's letting that happen. What would you do in that situation, Gray? Or how would you feel?
Well,
I will be man, I would be furious. It would have been bad.
yeah, no, that's the thing. I think at that point it goes from fury to making plans.
Yeah, and Kanye West made a recent song with The Game talking about those plans against Pete Davidson, and there's a music video. It's pretty gnarly. Let's just say that. But the fact that she knows that Pete made that joke. She knows that Kanye doesn't want Pete near his kids, but she allowed it anyway. Talk about toxic. I feel that she wants a reaction out of Kanye.
Well, of course she does. It's the same as like Jada with Will. The woman wants the man to have a reaction and then suffer.
Well, is it because she wants him to suffer, or is it because for the ratings, or both?
Could just be for her own amusement.
Because her recent show, what's it called? The new season came out. So
That's the thing. There's multiple things that Kanye having a meltdown in the relationship benefits Kim. We can't really point to one and say that's the deciding thing.
right.
There's so many benefits, including just her own personal amusement.
Sorry, I was drinking some. But the fact that she was willing to go down this road and knowing how he may or may not react, and knowing how far he may or may not go for his kids, because I know everybody in the chat. I'm gonna ask you in the chat right now, how far would you go when it comes to your own children, hypothetically, or your actual children? So put a 1 if you agree that there is no line that you wouldn't cross for your kids. Put a 2 if you believe that there's some lines that you wouldn't cross. So, repeat. Put a 1 if you believe yourself that there are lines that you would not cross for your kids. Put a 2 if you believe that there are lines that you wouldn't cross. Because for me, I'm pressing 1 to affinity.
Yeah.
What are you going to say, Gray?
Well, that's really the thing. It's like, yeah, in the situation, like first I'm looking at every single legal recourse. I mean, you'd think that with all this evidence, you could get a judge to put a bloody restraining order or get sole custody. I mean, well, and that's the other thing. Like, so if they're not married and Kim is technically single, who has custody of the kids? Because I think Kanye could use this to make the case for sole custody.
Yeah, which I don't know why he hasn't went for it yet, because I would have done the heartbeat. But Free Ross, look up Pete Davidson's joke about kids.
Yeah, free Ross. We're talking Holly Weird levels of danger here. Okay?
Yeah, look up the joke. I'm not going to explain it. Look up the joke, and then you see where I'm coming from.
It's bad enough that we can't say it on stream. That's how bad it is.
Exactly. Because if it got to that point, best believe, and the fact that you see video footage on TMZ of your child on top of that guy's lap, you wouldn't be thinking straight. I think as a man and as a father, you wouldn't be thinking straight. Who would, seeing that shit and knowing what he's capable of joking about? Who jokes about that? Am I wrong, Ray? Like,
Yeah,
who
no,
jokes about that?
used to
Like,
be that just, oh God. It's the thing. The, the stuff that I would say used to be edgy in the past regarding that kind of
but
stuff.
even
I'll
even
say,
in the past,
I'm trying to think of how to say it in a way that won't get things heated.
it would have to be some type of 4chan, some crazy fucking shit on, like, I don't know, Tumblr or whatever.
Yes, that's the thing. It was
Because in person, nobody will be joking.
not about that. Although, how do I say this? Infant mortality jokes.
Right.
Those are kind of edgy and funny, but Holly weird, no.
No, like, you're gonna lose so many friends, and uh uh
Well, that's the thing.
you'd
You're
be
going to lose so many friends if your friends are the kind of people to oppose that stuff.
right. And once again, I understand Pete Davidson, he's a millionaire and he's part of Hollywood, so he thinks
It's
differently.
funny to them because it's typical to them.
Because there's no way, like, I'm telling, like, knowing how at least what my dad is or my uncles are, if I was in that position with the Kim K's kids, there won't be no Pete Davidson much longer. There wouldn't. No. And I guarantee you that at least one or two of my family members will take the hit.
Yeah, and at that point, you're just looking to like get some relatives overseas, get the kids to those relatives, and then be prepared to do a bunch of time behind bars.
I agree, because there's no way, like, and here's what I'm talking about, chat. Here's what I'm talking about. The fact that Kim Kardashian, even though she knew about the joke that he was making, still allowed that type of situation to happen.
Well, here's the thing: women, especially Kim, again, like she's 40, she doesn't have the best options. She probably thinks, allow access to allow access between my kid and this man, or lose the man.
Even though she was pretty much a multi-millionaire, or I don't know if she's a billionaire.
Hey,
I'm sure she's
look,
a
we've
millionaire,
made the
right?
point many times.
I know.
Men
I'm
don't.
just saying, men don't care about that. I agree, but in my opinion, Pete Davidson, he kind of does, because all the women that he messed with is way above his pay grade. Ariana Grande, multi-millionaire. Kim Kardashian, multi-millionaire, possibly a billionaire. And there's this other woman I forgot. Fuck, it was before Ariana Grande. He's a hobosexual.
That's the thing. So he's clearly got a taste for older, wealthier women. Probably a good strategy to advance his career. But it's more so that he's willing to satiate them and they give him access to what he's really interested in.
Which is insane, right?
Like if that's the thing. Like if you look at this guy's face, you're like, that looks like the kind of face of a guy who isn't allowed within 1,000 meters of an elementary school.
Exactly. He always rubbed me off the wrong way. Always. Yeah, he may be okay as a comedian. He ha ha. He may have a movie here and there, but as a person in real life, he's a fucking creep. And once again, gentlemen, this is the clown world. This is the Twilight Zone that we're living in. The fact that this person made all these crazy jokes and stuff, and I know it's not rare. It's pretty common that a single mother will let the boyfriend that she barely knows inside the house. So I'm not saying that it's rare. It's not rare. It's pretty common, especially amongst the single mothers.
Interesting.
What's up?
I'm just looking through his Wikipedia page real quick. this kind of stuff might actually be interesting to Real Talk.
Well, if Real Talk hops on, stop hiding.
Yeah, no, it goes down a weird fucking rabbit hole that would take a long time to explain. But like, apparently, his father died in the World Trade Center. He was a firefighter.
Recipes to his father. I got nothing but the utmost respect for that firefighter. No, nothing but respect.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. Then, you look at the ancestry. Like, okay.
Wait. What did he do? The firefighter?
Yeah. The firefighter.
That he had a pass?
Just ancestry. I'm just skimming the Wikipedia.
Oh, I'm just looking at the firefighter. Did he do anything that you know of?
There's nothing that I know of. No. The most
I was
notable,
about to say,
notable thing here is that he was a firefighter and died during the 9/11 attacks.
Okay, so unless you find anything different, I will still give respect to that.
I got nothing to say for that. It's just I'm wondering how this guy got into it, and I'm looking for family connections to see if there's any nepotism.
Okay,
like what connections got him in the first place.
Good question actually, because he kind of came out of nowhere in early, not early, but mid 2000s. No, mid 2010s. Fuck.
Yeah.
I think it's because he was able to sneak his way to Ariana Grande that gave him fame.
Apparently he got on Saturday Night Live. Got an audition through Bill Hader.
Was this before Ariana Grande or after?
It's like 2014.
Okay, that's before the Ariana Grande situation.
Yeah. Then like he roasted Bieber.
Speaking of him, I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Most recent thing Bieber did was promote Timbits.
Oh, okay. That's like he already made like a shit ton of money, so I don't blame him being quiet at this point.
Yeah, I think he's just like merchandising right now.
Just chilling, just vibing. Shit, he already has his wife. Good luck with that. Because Bieber, for some reason, if you're able to hear this, remember, it's all about how she feels. All it takes is one day. Just one. Half your earnings that you earn in your lifetime, gone. This is only for Bieber. Okay, I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah, and then there was another controversial joke where he compared the Catholic Church to R. Kelly.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong about that. Let's keep it real. Do you believe he's wrong about that? Not the entirety, but a decent amount. I will agree.
On the you know what?
Just to
I'm gonna you know what? No. You know what? I'm gonna say no. R. Kelly got consent.
What? See, that's the difference because he couldn't get consent in the first place. I can't get into details.
Yeah. Well, and then on the other hand, like I'm always kind of leery about jokes about the Catholic Church because like, yeah, y'all joke about the Catholic Church. None of you will fucking bat a side eye at public schools.
Wait, is Real Talk in? Hold up. Give me a second.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
Oh, shit. He is in. Hold up. Give me a second. Talking about religion and shit. He's probably going to say something about it. All right. But in my opinion, you know, I see what you're saying, that the comparison doesn't really make any sense. But at the same time, kind of does.
That's the thing. I get the funny part of the joke. Like I get it. Personally, I just find those jokes not quite as amusing, but like, I get the humor.
And we're about to move to the next subject very soon. And we're going to be talking about the schools. Yeah, we're going to have to actually use like code words about this one.
Oh yeah. So wow, he's dated a lot of. Well, yeah, no, he didn't start dating Ariana Grande until 2018. And
Oh, damn.
apparently,
It feels like it was 2015. God damn.
not 2018. From 2014 to 2015, he dated Carly Aquilano, who's a stand-up comedian, and then Cassie David, daughter of Larry David.
Really?
Yeah. And that was from 2016 to 2018. So basically, it looks like he's been sleeping his way to the top.
Do I blame him? No. But the manner that he is saying all these crazy things in the process, he should be in jail. Especially with the recent things. He definitely should be in jail. Who knows how far he's gonna go in the future. And that's all I gotta say about that. Because who knows? But we're gonna go to the next topic. It'll be about schools, right? Have you guys heard about the situation of teachers teaching and revealing their sexuality to their students? And they were called out on it, right? By was it Florida or Oklahoma government?
Florida's the one that's passed the bill that is anti-grooming.
So we got countless people from the alphabet community upset about that.
Yeah, and the good news is they're like, well, then we're quit and we're leaving. It's like, yes.
Yeah, fucking
good.
leave.
And then New York's putting up advertisements saying that, well, you can say it here. It's like, uh-huh. So yeah, all you people in New York sending your kids to public schools.
Why do you
sure
think
that's a good idea?
No, it's not a good idea at all. I've been advocating for months now. Homeschool your kids right now. One of you guys, whether it's the husband or the wife, will have to sacrifice something to teach your kids proper shit. Because right now, why are young kids, I'm talking about young kids that are in school, public schools, why are you even explaining or revealing your sexuality to them? That's fucking weird.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure when I was in school, this is the kind of thing that we were told as kids to warn, like tell an adult, like our parents, about if this kind of stuff happens.
I've never heard of a heterosexual going up to a bunch of kids like, yeah, I like fucking bitches.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I didn't even learn about that stuff in school till grade 5, and that was considered early.
Yes. It was I had to do it in elementary school, which was like 6th grade. I had to do it again in freshman year. I don't know why I had to do it in high school, but I had to learn about the sexuality between men and women.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like when you're in high school, like
mainly STDs.
Yeah, that's the thing. The STDs and pregnancy risk, those are things that, like, for fuck's sake, let's be honest. It's a problem that parents can't talk to their kids about this kind of stuff, so it has to go through the freaking schools.
Shit, I can.
My
dad didn't give a shit.
Yeah, well,
like if your fucking schlong falls out, don't come to me. I told you wear a fucking condom. Like I don't know, like at least for my parents, like they kept it real with me, especially in high school.
Yeah, well, not everyone's quite as lucky. So
quite as lucky, or their parents are a bunch of wussies.
You don't pick. It's luck whether or not your parents are wussies or not. You don't get to pick them. There's no vetting like you don't get to be in a queue. Like it's like, okay, so which parents do you want your soul to go to? I'll pick those
I'll give
ones.
you
They
that
seem
one.
reliable. It's like, no, it's pure fucking luck whether your parents are fucking upstanding and gonna be real with you, or whether they're fucking cowardly shitheads.
That's why I'm glad my dad was definitely real with me, man. He's like, hey, you know, if you want to die early death, go ahead and start having relations with these girls left and right with no condom. Because best believe, it's gonna be expensive funeral. In his perspective, but he kept it real. It's like, hey, if you plan on going around and screwing all these girls, you really think that that's going to end well? Not only for your health, but for your life. You really think that's going to end well? So, my dad kept it real with me since freshman year of high school, and it definitely helped tremendously. It did, because right now, especially learning about the recent mutations of STDs, I'm definitely very careful on who I mess with.
Oh god, nowadays you have to be careful about who you shake hands with.
True, but with the beer bug.
No. I'm talking like there's a variation out there now that causes lesions on the hands and can transfer through them.
Yeah, I know the biggest place to worry about that is in Atlanta. Atlanta has the highest STD rate in the states.
Yeah. So, but like nowadays, like handshaking is so much a part of like Western culture. But
Yeah,
nowadays, like now there's genuine reasons to think twice before shaking someone's hand, or at least check and see.
Yeah, I don't shake hands unless it's pretty important figures per se, in the sense of, politicians or, areas where you have to use some type of hand sanitizer, you have to wash your hands and all that stuff. But if it's like a regular person, I don't shake hands. That's my precaution.
Yeah, well, so it's done a lot for
at least I take precaution, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna add Real Talk. What's going on, Real Talk?
How you guys doing today?
Doing phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the topic today, right? This is part 2 of Society is the Twilight Zone. When it comes to the topic in general, what do you have to say about that?
I'd say we're basically like under a spell of sorts.
Real Talk.
Yeah.
Make sure you use code names if you believe it's a bad word.
Okay. Yeah. No. I think in the public's eye, especially the creature and how she's just controlled through the hive, they worship celebrity. They worship these chaotic, drama-filled, nail-biter type relationships and weddings and families, such as the Kim and Kanye fiasco. They need these sort of entertaining relationships for women to craft theirs after, and through living vicariously through celebrities, they pretty much have a grip on how these women treat their men at the end of the day. But the fucked up part is all of these celebrities, by and large, are compromised. Whether they swing the other way and they're supposed to be this heterosexual family man, or they are into that Holly weird shit, the majority of them they have dirt on. When you go to the Hollywood parties, people have openly said you have to sign these waivers and whatnot. So when the majority of females are looking up to these relationships and they're compromised relationships. And these people have controllers telling them how to act, how to interact, what to do on certain dates, what to even name their children. Some of these, the children's names of these celebrities is just so wild. It's like, who in the fuck names their kid this? Like, did you name your kid, or did your handler name this kid? So I really think that by and large, if celebrity and gossip and all what's in the tabloids, if that shit has a huge influence over women, especially, and even men who act like women, the fucking simps, the drama-filled life, if this has a huge dominance over steering our culture, it's as if these people have cast a spell through the celebrity life. So we're basically being steered by psychopaths and sycophants.
I definitely see what you're saying, man. Gray, you have anything to say about that?
I'm with Real Talk here. Like, there's a lot of people at the top, like, directing a bunch of what's happening now as a stage play. The only question is, how far down does it go, and how much influence, like, does the average person have? Because, okay, like, we can, I mean, heck, look at the most powerful man in office right now. Like, that is
Sleepy Joe.
fucking weak. That's a freaking Weekend at Bernie's level puppet show right there.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. But this one other thing that's going crazy in society in today, I have to think about that because it's been a minute.
That's the thing, but like, how far down does it go? Because, okay, maybe you can say,
everything is on a downward spiral right now.
oh yeah, no, everything's on a spiral. It's just a question of how much of it is a controlled downward spiral and how much of it is loose chaos.
More is controlled than not, in my opinion.
And that's the question, is like, how far down? Because I imagine like all major population centers and states, those have a lot of control, all major celebrities. But then it's like, what about like your local school board, for example? How much influence does it have there?
I definitely see what you're saying, and that's the biggest thing, right? Especially we talked about before. When it comes to the public schooling, I highly suggest that you guys homeschool at this point. You guys need to just homeschool. I don't care. One of you, whether it's the mother or the father, needs to stay home.
Well, that's a big part of why the single parent household is so popular with the people at the top. They want a single parent household because then the parent, in order to make ends meet, has to work, has to leave the kid alone, ergo needs daycare all day, every day.
Well, speaking of that, I'm definitely going to pull up a meme soon, but real talk, what do you have to say about that?
My bad. My power just went out at my place. I was just trying to trace it down, but you were talking about the schooling and the one-parent households.
And not one-parent households, but households where one parent needs to stay home in order to homeschool in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's the fucked up part about the cost of living, the economy, how things have been driven to where if you're not banking X amount of money, the one parent is forced to stay home essentially to take care of the kids. I mean, the nurturing is going to be a lot better than any child care services, but I think that adds to it is like, when did the cost of living become so outrageous to where, you know, it's just like there has to be a man or a dominant force in the workforce today making all that income. And if women or whoever the parent that chooses to stay home stays home, which parent is going to be better for the kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, our father's actually going to be able to be a better stay-at-home parent than the mother. That's another part of this Twilight Zone thing, is you have this phenomenon of the stay-at-home dad. It's like, is he really going to be able to make less money than her? You know, education comes in fact and other credentials and shit, but am I missing the point? I'm sorry if I am.
Well, that's an interesting bit right there, the idea of the house husband, because like women's earning value, it peaks very early. So a man could get into a relationship with a young woman, like in her early to mid 20s, who is making a shit ton of money working for some firm in more or less a do nothing position, or maybe not a very key one. But then the guy has to, well, like he'll either stay home and look after stuff, but that, of course, is years that he's not in the workforce. So he's not building up the skills. So if her income ever drops, he doesn't really have the ability to replace it outright. And if he's home looking after the kids, like, well, first of all, we've seen that women in that situation straight up resent the man who is able to stay home and look after the kids.
So speaking about family, right? What do you guys think about this article by Vice, right? Vice is ass already, but what do you have to say about that, Gray? And then we go to the real talk.
Well, she's completely correct. You can't have a feminist future without abolishing the family.
So how does that make you feel, though, as a man? Because family structure is crucial when it comes to society functioning in general.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, this is a person who wants the destruction of what I want and everything I care about, and they're making it plain and clear. So no, I can't really feel anything fresh from this, because I know, like, it's like a person that hates you saying that they hate you. You're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'll give you that one. But
the main thing is, I would take this to every woman who claims to value family and thinks feminism is necessary, and then say, pick one.
Literally, you can't have your cake and eat it too. How are you gonna see? Do you guys? I'm gonna talk to the chat as well. Do you guys understand how much modern feminism is trying to push women to have literally little to no responsibility or obligation when it comes to a traditional relationship? Look at the meme, because I say it's a meme because it's funny to me. Look how they're saying that they want to abolish the family. They literally want no responsibility whatsoever. But hey, they want you to be at your best financially, physically, mentally. And they feel entitled to that when you work for decades to get to that point.
Well, that's the obvious thing. Like, the government, people at the top, they need the women to breed. They need the men to work. Like, in order to keep the lights on and the power running, men need to work and women need to breed so that there's more workers. Alternatively, you can just import more workers, but you then have an unruly female population that has sway over the men. So you limit female breeding, destroy the family unit to take out male authority, and then enslave the man through various government contracts. And thus you have a working slave population of men who are deluded enough to think that they're doing it for their families. Meanwhile, the women get to live in hedonism and paradise as a siren call for other women. And then as soon as the woman's lifestyle starts to decrease in quality, then they're just dropped out of the news cycle and replaced with the next hot up and comer.
Yeah, that's the thing that they don't want to talk about at all. They are easily replaced, especially when they pass the wall. But the delusion of society, media, all that stuff, they really believe that they can live a Sex in the City lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I believe Leonardo DiCaprio's latest movie, purest example of it, because apparently in that movie he's only intimate with women who are close to him in age, which is not how he acts in real life.
That's not true. Yeah.
But that's the fantasy that is put out there, is that, a 50-year-old woman could absolutely get with Leonardo DiCaprio. And then the reality is like, no, you couldn't. He has no interest in you.
What do you guys say about that, real talk?
Gray touched on a lot of points as far as enslaving us, putting the women in a power position that is absolutely pointless to a healthy society. It's just pure detriment. But I think when we're talking about a family, they're referring to, I think every time these type of articles or these publications refer to the family, they're referring to the nuclear family. And the nuclear family was a time of patriarchy. It was a time where, men made and earned the majority, if not everything. The women were the nurturers, but still that man had a huge part in disciplining the children. So essentially, a feminist future essentially means she's the husband. She's the husband. She's the overall breadwinner. She's the star of the show. So that man's subservience is naturally, how can I say, when they're talking about a feminist future, they're talking about inverted nuclear family, essentially. If I'm kind of belaboring the point, but I think
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, this complete role reversal, upside down world kind of thing. So this is a joke to them. Like, they put out these articles knowing what's on the way, and they just like to kind of make fun and point at what the family unit used to be and how they're going to fucking completely floss their ass with it. This is just pure mockery for humanity, essentially. It's kind of sick.
Actually, I'd like to kind of address a bit of a counterpoint here, because I hear the nuclear family described as patriarchy, and I don't entirely agree with that. I'd say that originally the harem was the purest patriarchy. But in order to live in a larger society, you needed monogamy and the nuclear family, because you don't want large populations of disenfranchised men. So then, but like, to invert the nuclear family, that really just puts the woman at the head, but it doesn't remove the man from the household. I think that the goal is actually the inverted harem, where you have one woman who has kids with a lot of different men, but she has absolute say, and the men don't live in the house, they don't raise the kids, they just work and provide.
Okay, so pure Babylonian and ancient Greek worship, essentially, of the feminine deity, where it's no longer polygyny that would be multiple wives, it's polygamy, what you're describing.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. I would agree that that's the aim and the objective, due to you're essentially saying that through us building ourselves up throughout civilization, the patriarchy that came after the massive harems and the massive, how can I say, farming of women for the elites, we got to a certain point in civilization, whether it was the Western world, where it wasn't purely patriarchy, but it was essentially giving the men who were stepped on for hundreds, if not thousands of years in reproduction, it gave those men a chance to be like honest worker ants for the system. That's kind of how I'm interpreting it. But I agree with the counterpoint there.
It gave them a stake inside it, because like, if you had, say, the 80-20 rule, 80% of the male population with no stake in the future of the country because they don't have kids, that's bad. That is bad for any large civilization.
Yeah. At some point, there had to be a shift from the purely absolute patriarchy to a quasi-patriarchy that allowed the lessers to feel as if they had some sort of authority or determinants of where society would go. This is kind of interesting, because I was always, this kind of things we've talked about, I've always wondered, where did the ultimate mindfuck come in to use the common man for the elite's purposes, more or less.
Oh, that's honestly, that's a huge part of basic human interaction. Even in a very small group of men, they will collectively decide on one leader, and then all the non-leaders will cooperate for the sake of the group. So it's based in human instinct and group dynamics. But it's
Okay.
when you have to organize massive groups of men to keep a large society together. That's when you can't have all the resources exclusively flowing to the top. You need to have a distribution that gives the men an investment in the future, because otherwise, what's to stop them from either A, screwing off and doing their own thing somewhere else, thus fracturing your society, B, straight up rebelling, or C, just lying flat and not doing their part for a society that they don't have any investment in.
Yeah, so basically like a combination. Two of those is kind of what MGTOW is, because they have their strongest fear is rebellion, and their second strongest is not being able to support the society through taxes and all of that. I'm taking it because man, this is like there's something about, I think you've highlighted it with the hive mind in the past. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm thinking, they've tried to tell us through religion that the world's 6 to maybe 10,000 years old, but there's a lot of evidence that proves that there was advanced civilizations at a much greater time in history or further time back. So I'm starting to think, if the hive mind has always been at the forefront of how women act in whatever society, if there were civilized societies outside of small tribes for pure survival, I think the people who have steered this world, I don't know who it is, I couldn't put a name or a face on it, but they have had to tap into the hive mind, where when it's in a closely knit tribe, yes, that social acceptance means survival. But when you're in this huge society of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, in some cases, it's as if they could hack the hive mind, they can control the men. So I don't think the hive mind, when you have a very civilized society with some sort of science and technology to build great structures, I mean, it's as if the hive mind loses its importance the bigger the society gets and the more resource there is for that society. Because the more resource and the bigger the society, the more chances of survival for that woman. But if it's a small tribe, then her survival is closely dependent upon the acceptance from that small tribe. So I'm thinking, if they were able to control this hive mind, once society got big enough, then they could have their way. Because I think Hermit, he had a video, one of the first videos I saw on Hermit's channel, he's talking about the cave paintings that they've seen throughout history, where it's the majority of the hands in the caves are women's hands. And these historians are wondering, and archaeologists are wondering, how in the hell, what happened to all the men? Where are the men's hands? And I think that this hacking of the hive, when the hive importance wasn't truly like a necessity for survival, I'm starting to think that whoever has built up society and destroyed it in a cyclic fashion, they're doing the same thing today with trying to remove our say, remove our vote, remove basically our life force from us. Because I think the bachelor tax is on the way. I think a lot of fucked up shit's on the way. Just looking at this article, it's pretty sick when you think about it, because you know how I like to refer to the predictive programming of what's coming. I know I'm going off on a long tangent, but I was thinking, if you hack the hive in a civilized society that has resource, they don't need to fight and die for survival as if they were, without shoes. Think about the times that humans were barefoot. I could understand the hive then. But once there's clothing, once there's shoes, once there's abundance, does it truly make any sense besides controlling society?
That's the thing. It's like, it kind of doesn't matter whether or not it makes sense to have it. Like the amount of generations that humans would have to live, and it would have to be a point where the hive mind would not just be unnecessary, but outright detrimental to reproduction. Like that's the only way that it would go away. We'd have to evolve it out. And I don't think that there's ever been a stable civilization that's lived long enough for that to happen.
Yeah. I guess my argument is that it's been used as a tool to cyclically build this. I feel like not build society up, but to destroy it, because we know that if you can control the women, then you can most likely control the men, because of our 5 times more of an urge to be horny and want to have sex, I guess, through the raging testosterone. Because, think about your average person before medicine, before these modern times, the person's life expectancy wasn't the longest. So like he had a lot of testosterone throughout his life, especially with no plastics, no soy, no garbage. The common man back in the day, and I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of years ago, he was a fucking savage.
Well,
he had to be.
That's actually, I think, a big part of it too, is that humans are very much a species of conquest and hardship. We're meant, like we've been the underdogs. We've never been the strongest of the animals. We've always had to find ways to compensate for our lack of physical traits in competition. So we've always been about overcoming something. I'm starting to wonder if humans just aren't built for a stable society, because I think it's always been much easier to build a new society than to maintain an existing one. Counterintuitive as that might be, it might just be human psychology due to how we've evolved.
So we have a cyclic, sorry about this wind, guys. I think it's what knocked my power out, but we have a cyclic destructive behavioral pattern, essentially.
Well, essentially, like we're great at building stuff up and making new things, but when it comes to maintenance, we kind of suck at it.
Yeah, that's just, maybe it's the degree of intelligence we have, maybe the connivingness that we might have over, if that's even a word, over our, chimp counterparts.
Well, let's look at it this way. Like, what triggers more positive chemicals in a human? Maintaining a road or building a new road?
Yep. And that's why I think the Gregorian calendar is crap.
Wait, real talk. What was your answer?
I'm sorry. I would agree that building the new road feels much better, because it's like a new leaf. You're turning something anew, and it's like reinvigorating when you're kind of down in a slump. At the bottom of the hill, it's like when you build something new, it's like you're going back up that hill. So what I was referring to, what was I just going to say now? It was a point I was just going to make. Damn, I lost my train of thought. I'll remember. Damn it. When we're building a new, oh shit. I give me a moment, guys. I'm my mind's being pulled in a bunch of different directions right now.
It's fine. You gonna be thinking about your answer, or what's up?
No, I was agreeing that when there's a more invigorating feeling when we're building something new than maintaining it. So essentially what I'm saying is I'm agreeing with him that building anew makes more sense in how we're wired. I was just going to aid that point and agree with him on that point with an example I have. I'm just, oh yeah. People, before we were put on the Gregorian calendar system, I think it was Pope Gregory who came up with the calendar system that we're on. It was the Julian calendar, and the new year started in spring. So instead of New Year's being when it's dead, cold, winter, and there's no like movement or no form of life, they would start their new year in spring when everything started to bloom. It gave people like more, what's the word that I'm looking for? They were, how can I say, it would lift people's spirits more or less. So that's where I'm agreeing with Gray and kind of aiding that. Back in those times, it kind of made more sense for your new year to be in spring when you're turning a new leaf. And it's like, think about having a New Year's resolution if everything started in spring, and how much more you would probably get done than your New Year's resolution when everything's cold, decrepit, and depressing outside. So yeah, I 100% agree that's probably built within us for some particular reason, more or less. I can't explain the psychology behind it or like the physiology of what's released when we do something new versus maintain it. But I'm willing to bet that people back then were a little bit more happy to know that that was the start of the new year, when they would naturally see nature in it of itself blooming freshly. So yeah, that is a big determinants factor over probably our decision making throughout society, and it's a really good point.
Okay. You definitely spit some facts today, real talk. But when it comes to society turning to a clown house or Twilight Zone, what do you how do you perceive Western society today?
It's a complete free for all. It's an indecent society. The morality and respectability of your average person is the goalpost has been changed in a subjective manner. So if you are always changing the goalpost on what it means to be moral or responsible, you're going to have a completely indecent society that Gray mentioned hedonism, which is a huge factor of our indecent society, and of course solipsism, the self-worshiping. So it's a complete indecent free-for-all, full of self-worship and fucking uncontrollable pleasure. So we're we're the O'Doyle Rules family stuffed into that station wagon, and instead of chanting O'Doyle Rules, we're chanting a mindless USA. The bankers fucking destroy our economy, put us through a whole bunch of bullshit. We keep chanting USA in a blind fashion. Now, not the gentleman here, not the introspective gentlemen who are awake.
I will say the one thing about the U.S., we're definitely a lot better off than majority of the countries. Not saying that the U.S. has no faults, because they have countless faults to the point where they don't even believe their own lies at that point. But the country in itself is a lot better than majority of the countries.
Well, it's a kind of like a mindless, unaccountable chant, meaning we'll go destroy countries, topple countries, try to push democracy, and like people, the United States of amnesia is a good way to call it. It's as if we are unaccountable to what the politicians that we elect. We kind of let the politicians get away with murder, and we're just along for the ride because we're so busy with keeping up with bills, trying to fit within this social economic status. So I'm not going to make passes anywhere, but essentially when I say we're the O'Doyle Rules family, we are blind of accountability, and we're letting ourselves be led off a cliff. We know there's rocks at the bottom. We know no one's going to survive in the station wagon. That's like the entire North American continent. And it's just sad to know that it's been a free-for-all, an indecent free-for-all, full of pleasure seeking and self-worshiping at the end of the day. So, like I say, we're the O'Doyle Rules family. We've been blindlessly led, or blind in a blindless fashion. So, yeah, strap yourself in, boys, and get some food like Island did the other day. I guess he spent like his entire paycheck for 6 months of food.
Okay. I heard what you said, but I definitely want to hear what Gray has to say. I think it's a good. Did you hear Gray?
Yeah.
What do you have to say? Like, what's your response to what Real Talk said?
Well, on the more simple level, like we're spinning the drain because we want something new. We always want to build something up, build something new, because that's what makes us feel best. But the maintaining of society, the holding accountable, like even the chanting, yeah, like America's great, but that's the thing. When you get so blind that you won't allow any criticism of like what you find great, then there's the problem. And that's a ton of people, because I would be like, well, what else would you rather have? But then to get with the politicians too is like, how many people really care about politics outside of the election time? Like they elect the politician, but do they then turn around and hold the politician accountable? Some might, most don't. They're more focused on winning the battle of the election rather than seeing how the results come out.
I see what you're saying, Gray. Definitely a good insight on the dynamics of what's happening in society today. Because right now, I really truly believe, at least me, in my opinion, it's literally becoming the exact opposite. Like, if you guys watch the Twilight Zone series, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think great. I'm sorry, Yeetus. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I'm just saying, like, people that are aware, they know this is not normal. So that's it.
Yeah, Gray, you touched on the competition aspect that I think that's in our slave school indoctrination as young children, they really hammered home that we should be competing instead of cooperating. You know, men, we want to be the big men on campus, and women want to be who can tackle the biggest fish or the highest status man through the hypergamous nature. But at the end of the day, just think about it. It's two political sides fighting each other to outdo each other, not to hold their elected politician to an accountable level, but to just say we won sort of thing. So I think they've used the competitive nature of humans to our great detriment. And if we were more cooperative, which how men and women are in harder times, because you know that's just how nature had driven them to be, the cooperation would go a lot further, and we wouldn't be swirling down the toilet bowl trying to outdo each other.
Well, that's part of the problem too, is when you get to a large society, we humans, we're not built for this level of society. Like we can really only recognize, I believe it's about 150, maybe absolute maximum 200 people as individuals.
Tribalism works.
So that's the thing. Like it works on such a small scale, but when you get to populations of, well, heck, thousands, tens of thousands, millions, hundreds of millions, we can't think of that many people as individuals. More people can fit into a stadium than we can think of as individual people. So then we have to find looser and looser connections to associate with. And that's where it becomes, okay, your favorite sports team, your political party, the name of your ideology. It's too big for humans to really comprehend, which is why oftentimes like this is where the success of the US came in, with breaking down responsibilities. So you had like the federal, then you had the state level, and then you had the municipal level with like your towns and your mayors. And that works like, because then it's like you only have to look after the people who are in your immediate circle, your immediate town. And bam, so long as each individual part is functioning, then the whole functions, so long as like no one's fucking it up at the top. And unfortunately, yeah, people up at the top are fucking with it. So it doesn't matter how well the individual parts at the bottom will work and cooperate. Like they're going to be pitted against other large groups, and it's fracturing. There's no unified goal anymore.
I definitely see what you're saying, but right now I am currently ending the stream because I had to do something right now. Carry on. Not carry on. Real talk. I keep confusing you two. God damn it. What do you have to say to the chat, to the Warband?
Support your boy Yeetus. Slap that coin down and put your money where your mouth is. You know what I'm saying? We got the heaviest discussions on the tube on this channel, so you got to support your boy. But besides that, Puniti.
Puniti. And don't get me wrong, there will be a late night stream tonight.
Oh, nice.
So, peace out, man.
You guys have a good one. Peace out. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Peace. Interesting conversation that you guys had.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of depth to this kind of stuff, and how much is stuff that is actually real out there and how much is falsehoods that we're being led to believe. We're seeing more of it nowadays because it's more obvious, but like there's a lot of, and let's be honest, in society, in a large society, we do have to accept some bullshit for the sake of the larger society. Because like maybe you can be super awesome in your town, but good luck with that town surviving if a lot of your infrastructure collapses or like say the trucks stop coming.
Which is why we need to talk about it in part 2. If it's not tonight, it will be tomorrow morning. Which one do you think you'd be more comfortable with?
Honestly, later tonight's fine.
You sure?
Oh yeah. Like again, I just got to work on the video editing, but I'm down for another couple hours tonight.
All right, too easy. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to leave you guys right now, but best believe there will be a late night stream tonight. Okay. I'm talking about 11 p.m. midnight stream.
Yeah, episode 99 and a half.
Yeah, 99 and a half. Yeah. There will be another hour and a half show just to compensate for me cutting the stream short. But overall, this was an amazing conversation, not gonna lie. I was definitely invested. That's why I didn't say anything. But in the end, this is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully, you guys had a bunch of gems that you learned from today. And see you later on tonight. I'm talking about late at night. Peace.
Peace out, Warband.